takes place throughout the alimentary canal and pushes the food downwards. Okay, at the times of food is not accepted by our stomach and is vomited out. Listen, recall the instance when you vomited after eating and think of the reason for it. All of you think of the reason for it. Okay, next, stomach. Next, we will learn about stomach. This is a diagram of stomach. Okay, all of you see the diagram. Esophagus, the stomach have mucous membrane. The stomachs have contain mucous membrane. Then pylorus. Next, duodenum. Duodenum also contain in small intestine. Then layers of muscles. Okay, let's listen. Next, stomach. Next I will explain stomach. The stomach is a thick-walled bag-like structure. Thick-walled bag. Stomach is a bag-like structure. Its shape is like a flattened U and it is width part of the alimentary canal. It receives food from the food pipe at one end and opens into the small intestine at the other. The inner lining of the stomach secretes, listen, the inner lining of the stomach secretes mucus, the hydrochloric acid and digestive juices. The mucus protects the lining of the stomach. The acid kills many bacteria that enter along with the food and makes the medium in the stomach acidic and helps in the digestive juices to the act. Okay, the digestive juices, listen, the digestive juices break down the proteins into simpler substances. Okay, next, small intestine. This is a small intestine, the digestive system of small intestine in human. Okay, the small intestine. The small intestine is highly coiled and is about 7.5 meter long. The small intestine, the length of about, all of you know the answer. The small intestine, the length of about 7.5 meters long. It receives secretions from the liver and the pancreas. Besides, its wall also secretes juices. Okay, next, liver. The liver is a reddish brown gland situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. It is the largest gland in the body. It secretes bile juice that is stored in a sac called gallbladder. The bile plays, all of you note, it secretes bile juice. The liver secretes bile juice. It is stored in a sac called gallbladder. The bile plays an important role in the digestion of fat. Bile plays an important role in the digestion of fat. Main role. The liver main role. The liver important main role. Digestion of fats. Okay, this is a next one. Pancreas. Okay, the yellow color pot, the leaf-like structure. This is a pancreas. Okay, now I will explain pancreas. The pancreas is a large cream-colored gland located just below the stomach. The pancreas just below the stomach. The pancreatic juice acts on carbohydrates, fats and proteins and changes them into simpler forms. Okay. The partially digested food now reaches the lower part of the small intestine where the intestinal juice completes the digestion of all components of the food. The intestinal juice completes the digestion of all components of the food. Next, the carbohydrates. The intake of the nutrition food contains the carbohydrates, proteins. Already we learned about the carbohydrates get broken into simple sugars. The carbohydrates break down into simple sugars such as glucose, fats into fatty acids, and glycerol, and proteins into amino acids. Okay. Okay, next, absorptions in the small intestine. Absorptions in the small intestine. Absorptions. What is mean by absorptions? Absorptions means the nutrients, the digested food, the nutritions, food materials, absorptions. Okay, that is the absorptions. The digested food can now passes into the blood vessels in the wall of the intestine. This process is called absorptions. This process is called absorptions. The inner wall of the small intestine have thousands of finger-like outgrowths. These are called villi. Okay, listen. Absorptions. What is mean by absorption? The digested food can now passes into the blood vessels in the wall of the intestine. This process is called absorptions. The inner wall of the small intestine have thousands of finger-like outgrowths. Thousands of finger-like outgrowths. These called villi. The finger-like structure. That is a villi. Okay, wow. Okay. Listen, that is a intestinal villi, the finger-like. Listen, all of you see the diagram. The finger-like projections called villi in the surface of small intestine. Okay, the wall of surface of small intestine have thousands of finger-like villi. Okay, see the diagram. Next, listen, the villi. Listen, all of you. The villi increase. Listen, can you guess what the role of villi? What is the role of villi could be in the intestine? Listen, can you guess what the role of villi could be in the intestine? Listen, I will explain. The villi increase the surface area for absorptions of digested food. Absorptions of digested food. Each villi has a network of thin and small blood vessels close to its surface. The surface of the villi absorbs digested food materials. The surface of the villi absorbs digested food materials. The absorbed substances are transported the blood vessels. The absorbed substances are transported to the blood vessels to different organs of the body where they are used to build complex substances such as the proteins required by the body. This is called assimilation. This is called assimilation. Listen, absorptions. What is difference between absorption and assimilations? Absorptions means the digested food materials passes into the blood vessels in the wall of the intestine. This process is called absorptions. Assimilations means the complex substances such as protein required by the body. This is called assimilation. Okay. Can you understand? Okay. In the cells, glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released. The food that remains undigested and unabsorbed enters into the large intestine. Okay. Now we will going to large intestine. Okay. This is a large intestine. See the diagram. Dear students, see the diagram. The pink color is large intestine. All of you see the diagram. The large intestine. Okay, I will explain large intestine. Okay. The large intestine is wider and shorter than small intestine. It is about 1.5 meter in length. The large intestine, the length of about, okay, the large intestine, the length of about 1.5 meter in length. Its function is to absorb water. Its main function, the large intestine, what is the main function of large intestine? Listen. Its function is to absorb water and some salts from the undigested food materials. Listen students, what is the function of large intestine? Its function is to absorb water and some salts from the undigested food materials. The remaining waste passes into the rectum and remains there as semi-solid fecus. Okay. The remaining waste passes the wastage materials through the rectum. That is a semi-solid fecus. Okay. The fecal matter is removed through the anus from time to time. This is called egestion. Egestion means eliminated. Egestion, the wastage material through the anus, ejected through the anus. Okay, that is a egestion. Egestion means eliminated, the undigested waste food materials eliminated through the anus. That is a egestion. Okay, that's all. Human digestive system. Are you clear? Okay. Dear students, if you doubt, you call me. Okay. Thank you, students.